I'm Terrify. And you're Tara's friend. Come in. Come in. Come in. Let me put you down. Switch it up, man. Today, I'm chilling. So, I don't really want to project my voice too much. But today, I'm going to speak about marijuana, weed, ganja, za, gas. You get the gist. And I'm speaking about my experience of it. Nothing in particular other than what I've written down on this paper. So, without any further ado, shout out to weed, bro. It's a pretty nice thing. What I've learned so far in my journey about weed, marijuana, is that it can be a really helpful tool, or it can be detrimental. It depends on the person, how you use it. And that's basically with anything. You can take a butter knife and use it properly, get your butter. You could take a butter knife and try to cut something. You're probably not gonna do too well there. It depends on how you use it. It depends on the person as well. Smoke your weed, have your fun. It can be a party thing if you want it to be. It can also be very meditative, or give you the opportunity to meditate and take you to a different realm, another dimension, so to speak, so you can see a different part of reality. What you do with that information is up to you, just like the information in this video. So, when it comes to smoking, what I've found personally is that in the past, I was quite shy, very insecure. I didn't like to speak up. And so I was usually just the one listening or observing. And whenever I would smoke, my insecurities about judgment or just being afraid to be myself, weed would definitely amplify that. And I mean, like, to a very large degree. It was like, in my sobriety, yeah, I knew that I was uncomfortable speaking, but I could still sort of muster up the courage to say something or play around with it, you know? But when I smoked, it was more like the only thing that I'm seeing in front of my mind's eye, the thing that is with me right now on the surface, and so very large, is the insecurity. It's my judgment. It's my problem, you know? So for me, weed made that very, very, very prominent. It accentuated it. I like that word, and I wanted to use it. So I know people who can smoke and they have no problems. They just talk, they do their thing. It's not really like the weed, it's not the marijuana, it's the person, you know? Weed is simply a tool. It's also a medicine. It's a very giving plant. I like to think about it as a lesser form of mushrooms. If you've ever taken mushrooms or done your research, when it comes to this spiritual journey, mushrooms have a way of making things very clear and direct and helping you move through them. And weed has the first two parts, clearness and directness, in my opinion, or experience. However, it's not so forceful when it comes to, you know, the whole like healing process. Mushrooms just take you on a ride and you're out of here. Weed is sort of like, yeah, you can go if you want to. It's really up to you. So, depending upon your desire to feel free, weed will either allow you the opportunity to free yourself, or let you remain where you are as you are. Take what you want from that. Also, weed has helped me get deeper within my body. Meaning, right now, I'm aware of my system. I know how things are moving around. I got bit by a mosquito. It itches. But if I were to smoke, I would feel this mosquito bite a lot more intensely. Not to say that it would itch more, but I would just be a lot more detailed in how I'm feeling. So I would use weed as a means of like stretching into my body. I would do yoga, get my flex on, get my stretch on. And in doing so, it allowed me to sort of like define the muscles that I was using. I got more details when I would hit certain poses. Hold on. I wonder if I can give a little stretch. A little too far for the camera, but hey, you get the gist. So anyway, it definitely just, it helped out in helping me reshape and rebuild my body. That's a whole different thing, but in my physical journey, I've been learning to help my body function better by recentering my spine. My whole skeleton was fucked up, to be honest. And so weed has just helped me to get back in alignment in that way. What else do we have? We have, if you're into shadow work, the judgments that come to you, the things that are unseen, those beautiful things, well, I guess they're kind of ugly at first, but once you get through them, they're beautiful. But those things that are in the back of the psyche, in the subconscious, and those things that have been tucked away, swept under the rug, weed can help bring it up and out. I'm trying to tell you. But you have to have an acute awareness and a meditative-like quality in order to really, really get into the juices of what it can do for you. See, weed is a very loving plant. If you've ever if you've ever tried those the pens, right? The carts, and you've had the distillates and the oils, it'll get you high. But it's almost missing an essence to it. It's like, where's the love at? Yeah, I'm geeked, but damn, where the heart at in it, But when you smoke, it's like, at least for me, I feel like there's a full-bodied feeling that comes with having it. It's just so, it blesses me. I just gotta be real. It's loving. So that little love that the weed can do for you, it's akin to something of Mother Earth. You talk to the trees, you talk to the leaves. They can do stuff for you too. But marijuana is quite powerful in its healing. Another thing. So if you're sensitive to energies, if you've been doing your work, your spiritual work, of course, and you can allow yourself to be open, whenever you go into nature, everything is talking. Not words, but feelings. There's a sensitivity that comes with the trees and the leaves. And I found that smoking helps communication between myself and this body and the thing that I'm talking to. For example, I remember a time in which I was next to a magnolia tree and I was high, you know? But I was looking at the tree, marveling at it, seeing how beautiful it was, touching it and the leaves and the flowers, just smelling it, everything. And I couldn't help but stand there and just be in awe, my heart open and full, because I felt as if the tree was accepting of us in the moment. It's a little difficult to describe, but it's almost like an infinite hug. That's the best way I can put it. It's like the veil gets a little bit thinner and the communication is more direct between the two of us. It's easy, very easy to talk and feel the trees when you've got a little bit of bud in you, you know? So, nowadays, I don't really smoke too often. I've found that the more that I'm in my sobriety and I do my work, my meditative work and my observations, and I let life happen, it's like I keep elevating and elevating and elevating. There's no stopping. I've noticed with weed, however, that it brings me down. And I don't mean in a negative sense, but I mean I become more susceptible to lower energies. The vibration or the influence of thought patterns that aren't aiding my development, they come in a little bit more rapidly. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. There really is no good and bad here. Because even in those lower vibratory states, there's still a lot of juice to be extracted and things to be, like learned from and shared even. And so I choose to stay sober unless I just feel silly sometimes, then I'll enjoy myself. But in the past, it used to uplift me, listen to music, go watch some anime, do something. It was helping me because those were dark times. Those were terrible times, awful. And so that was my cushion. That was my saving grace in some ways. Healing, in my opinion, has to really be done sober. But you can accomplish so much in that realm after smoking. It's almost like it takes you to a different place, Actually, I'm pretty sure it does. You may be standing in the same spot, but your whole consciousness and psyche is completely different. And as you're navigating those new realms, insights can come to you a lot easier. Just like talking to the trees and such, that communication, there's also a communication between, and I think it's more like the soul or spirit has more of a clear path to be able to give you specific information for your personal journey. Countless things that have been given to me, all because I was in a receiving state after smoking. And the thing is, I couldn't tell you what those things are. For one, there's just so many, but for two, it's not meant to stick. It's like, just because I'm open to receiving and it comes in beautifully, it doesn't have to stay, but it's still stored somewhere. The subconscious kind of thing. And if I ever need the information in the moment and at the time that it is necessary, then it comes to me. Oh yeah, I remember I learned this. You get my gist? So, it's a longer video. Shout out to you for staying this long. But so far, those are the things that weed has shown me. And I'm sure there's many more. A plethora of things. But this is what I can give you in a shorter form video so far. And so, oh, I'll give you one more before I end the video. Something really sweet and simple. Weed has taught me to appreciate things more. It's like specifically the weed itself. To be able to look at a nug, to look at the plant and see the crystals on it, to look at the colors of the hairs on it, to smell it and the potency that it has, the stickiness of it. There's just a lot of things that make up what we want to smoke. And I think a lot of people don't really take the time to like appreciate it, you know? Just appreciate it before you decide to roll up. There's so much value that can be had. So, these mosquitoes are getting me. This video's over. Again, thank you for being here this long. Thank you for listening and inquiring about weed. I hope that you're good to yourself. And you better stay hydrated. And just know that everything's gonna be all right. So don't let nobody tell you you can't smoke. Do what you really want to do. I would also say be mindful and make sure you're not just using it as a crutch. You can walk on your own. It's your journey. All right. Stay hydrated. Be good. I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all.